Hey guys, I am Jay and this is Football Talk, and I am super excited because I'm back with another college football reaction. And this one we got College Football 25 Dynasty and Road to Glory full details. Now, I was not really big into like the Dynasty mode and stuff. I just played regular on the old NCAA football games, but I know it's a lot of people that's going to be excited about this, and I also know it's going to be some people that watch my videos that are going to be excited about this. So I cannot wait to see all the details and everything. I can't believe a college football game is coming this year. Like I still cannot believe that. It's just crazy to even say that sentence. It's been since I was in 8th grade, the last one. So, and your boy's been out of high school for some time. I'm not going to tell my age, but your boy's been out of high school for some time. So to even be here, man, it's just crazy, man. But without further ado though, let's jump right into it.
About Dynasty mode and Road to Glory for EA Sports College Football 25. Now, as many of you know, I was down at EA last week and got to play the game. I talked about it in my video yesterday. Now, I was told that there were only certain things that I could talk about yesterday, but a lot of different writers on different sites, it appears maybe they were able to talk about more details yesterday than I was.
Okay, so everybody's got like different ones.
And kind of give my opinions on the news we've heard about Dynasty and Road to Glory. Now, today
I have not seen any articles.
Gameplay deep dive day. I have a lot of gameplay info to go over, but that did get delayed a day. They're still finalizing some things that should be tomorrow on Friday, unless there's some other pushback, but I don't foresee that happening. There'll be tons of info to dive into tomorrow, every little last detail that you could want to know about gameplay, and I do believe this will be accompanied by a trailer that will show some actual gameplay. But as of today, this is all the footage we have so far, is just the early trailer and the screenshots. But tomorrow we should have a lot more footage to hopefully look at, and there's going to be a lot of detail.
Ooh, I can't wait. You know your boy's gonna be reacting to it.
Deep dives on those later on, where there's going to be even more info and detail, and those should also be accompanied by trailers as well. But for today, we can dive into the details that some of the writers did put out on their websites from what they learned.
Oh, the writers put it out. Okay.
If you miss any of those other deep dives and gameplay footage that's going to be coming, make sure to subscribe and turn the bell icon on so you don't miss those videos when they go live. I'm trying to get to 600k subs before the release of this game, and if everybody watching just subscribed, we can hit that number in a few days. The links to the articles I'm going to be referencing will be linked in the description below for you to check out. So let's start with the basics here for Dynasty mode. It says you'll be able to go 30 years deep into Dynasty like the old games, and you will have the ability to have 32 user-controlled teams in both online and offline Dynasties. The online Dynasty mode will not be available for cross-play, meaning you'll have to play with folks with the same console, at least for the first iteration of the game. They also brought back the ability to start your career as an offensive or defensive coordinator as well as a head coach. The word they really harped on with Dynasty was making it a sandbox where gamers have the choice to make of it what they want. They seem to be delivering on that promise at just about every level. Now, the only drawback here so far is the crossplay. We know that's going to be coming sooner rather than later.
I'm sorry, just want a quick pause. I know I did see a lot of questions about with the Dynasty mode, will you still be able to start as a coach and build up like that? And that's great that they basically just confirmed it. Now, the crossplay, what he's about to talk about, I mean, I could see it being like a bummer, but at the same time, I don't know if it's too much of a bummer. But the 32 teams, like that's, like I said, this is all new to me. So I'm pretty sure these was in the old NCAA games, but I just never played Dynasty mode. I didn't get into like all those type of modes until like Madden 20, I want to say. Yeah, about like Madden 20. So this is all new to me. Exciting news.
Same thing happened with Madden. They made franchise mode wait a little bit. I think it's just the logistics of making sure that you're able to roll that out and have it work properly, because the last thing you want,
it's got to be stable.
Causing issues to Dynasty, which would be a travesty. So I'm fine with
especially in college football, where Dynasty mode is like really the key thing.
Some conferences are back, but with more depth than ever before. Not only can you move teams around, but you can change conference rules and create custom protected opponents. This means if you want the SEC to go to 9 conference games each season, with the conference championship game being played at the top ranked team's home stadium rather than at a neutral site, you can do that. Custom schedules are also back, but your conference games are still locked on your schedule each year and you cannot move them around. The reasoning is because the game uses the actual schedule rotations provided by the conferences going into the future, and their goal is to provide as authentic as an experience as possible. They also went deeper to ensure annual matchups fall to the correct date, so rivalries are going to be on the week they've played every year in real life. The schedules will also feature every non-conference game already agreed to, which means those games we laugh about being scheduled in 2032 will be in the game when you get to that point of your dynasty. Week 0 is also in the game, but they do not have licensing for the stadium in Dublin, Ireland, so games scheduled there will be at a different neutral site location in the game. Kickoff games are a part of the game and are licensed, but will be scheduled by the CPU, so you cannot put UMass in the Duke's Mayo kickoff game, sadly. So that's pretty good to know. You can do the custom.
Wow, that is a lot.
Around certain opponents and schedules.
I didn't even know you could do that.
Ones that kind of have to be locked are locked, and they're played on the weeks that make sense from
which is understandable.
Is a good way to go about it. Team Builder. You will be able to import teams you create from the Team Builder website into Dynasty mode. And
oh yeah, he talked about this a little bit a couple videos ago.
To import into the game, you'll be able to download created schools made by others if you want a custom option but aren't big into graphic design. Full details on Team Builder will be arriving later this summer.
Wait a minute. Oh, you could do fields, and it's crazy he said something about graphic design because that's what I'm going to school for. Probably you guys probably did not know about it. I am going for graphic design. Man, this is gonna be crazy. I like the sandbox that they use, like an open sandbox. I think that's something that's been needed in football games. But I also feel like there's reasons why it wasn't, and Madden has took it out. See, here's the thing. People want options, but then when you give it to them, they abuse it. And now it's kind of like when you used to be in elementary school and like somebody will talk while you're not supposed to be talking, and now the whole class have silent lunch because that one person talked. It's the same way for customizations in games and stuff like that. It's one player or it's a couple players that just do not know how to behave, and then it messes it up for everybody. And then you got people talking about, oh, the older games, they was less strict. No, it's just that the older games was in a different time. Like, I think people have to understand that about video games. Those older games was cool for their time. You cannot apply the same thing to this time. This day age is way different than when it was back in my day. So we got to stop bringing up that.
I mean, I believe this is going to be similar to how it was in NCAA 14, maybe a little bit deeper, but even if it's the exact same, to me, that's good enough. We'll find out a lot more about it later on, but just the fact that it's in the game for me.
This is so cool.
Coaching, skill trees, and archetypes. When building out your coach, you will select one of three archetypes: motivator, recruiter, or tactician. Each of those will come with different strengths and weaknesses. With the 11 skill trees, each coach will gain attributes in. You will not be able to max out all three skill trees in this version of the game, as it's a departure from NCAA 14 where you would max out your recruiting and then go max out your management skills. Instead, you'll have to figure out what's most important to you and build your coach accordingly, getting boosts in some areas but having weaknesses in others. The goal of the game at every level is to make sure the decisions you make throughout matter and have a lasting impact.
That is perfect.
Carousel, staff hiring, and firing. The coaching carousel is back, and you'll get offers based on your reputation and performance, both as a coordinator and a head coach. A new wrinkle that many fans have wanted is the ability to hire and fire members of your staff. Your coordinators will also have skill trees, which means you can choose to have coordinators that fill in the gaps in your skill tree as a head coach, giving you balance but not the big boost. Or you can hire like-minded coaches that will unlock the highest level boost in those areas. You'll also be able to fire members of your staff and go into the coaching carousel and either try to poach coaches from other schools or hire from a pool of free agent coaches. However, each coach will have a talent tree of players which you will be able to look at that are attached to them from either the recruiting process or playing for them. As such, if you fire a guy, just like in real life, you'll probably lose some players to the transfer portal. Now we're going to continue.
Oh, wow.
And Road to Glory, but really quickly, I do.
Hold on. I gotta pause it right there. That right there. So just like in real, so if you fire a coach, you might have your best player or your second or third best player or whatever. He might be like, you know what? I'm gonna go with coach. You fire him for a reason that I feel like was not good, so I'm gonna go with coach. It's gonna be a lot of pissed off people in the Dynasty mode. I can already tell. I can already see the YouTube videos right now. It's gonna be so many pissed off people, and I absolutely love it because it's just like real life. You want real life things, you're gonna get real life things.
Shout out today's sponsor, Underdog Fantasy.
And please don't complain.
Like winning money. The most important thing that absolutely has to be great in order for this mode to be great. Here are the basics. Each year will feature 4,000 prospects with 30 5-star status. Pitch grades also return with 14 in total, including proximity to home, playing time, sending players to the NFL, and brand exposure. And many recruits will have deal breakers where they won't consider your school if you don't meet their required grade in certain areas.
Oh.
Or 3 positions, and it will let you know what your team needs and positional needs are in the recruiting screen, as well as which players are risk of transferring. The transfer portal is also of the same screen, but won't open until the off season. The recruiting process. There's a good bit more detail in recruiting compared to 14, as you'll assign hours to recruits. In the off season, your recruiting hours and your transfer portal hours will be one and the same, once again forcing you to make decisions on where to focus your efforts. You'll also need to be cognizant of leaving roster spots open for portal guys. The early signing period also makes its debut in the game, with the portal opening after early.
They got the early signing period.
Happen in stages, as will scouting. Gone is the ability to get a full scout on a guy in a week, as you won't be able to get a guy's skill tree until you bring.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Finally,
line through the process, going from recruit locking in his top 10 to his top 8 to his top 5 and to top 3. You'll divide your allotment of recruiting hours across your recruiting board. The hours we saw on the screen were 55, but I don't have it confirmed if your recruiting hours to spend are dependent on your staff skill trees or not. Players will again have things that are important to them with the 14 pitch grades, and those will impact how interested they are in your school. There will no longer be a way to manipulate recruiting logic to pull guys in that weren't interested by throwing points at them. If they value proximity to home most and you live in California, even if your Georgia Bulldogs are #1 in the nation, they won't be interested. Within that, it'll be much harder to rapidly build a program into a national title contender. No longer will you spend 1 year with a small school and be able to bring in 4 stars and 5 stars like in 14. Those top recruits will not consider your school and have you locked out with deal breakers early on. Instead, you're going to have to truly build up the program over the years, building up those pitch grades to be able to land top tier talent, both in the portal and recruiting years down the line. Recruiting visits. Once a player locks in his top 5, you'll be able to bring him on for a visit, and you'll once again be able to design a recruit's visit to show him the things that matter to him or hide things you're not highly regarded in. What game you bring someone to will also matter this year, with the game's outcome, win or lose, impacting how well the visit goes. For example, if you bring a recruit to a game against #2 Ohio State, a win will move you a lot closer to signing him than if you bring him to a UL Monroe game and win. On the flip side, a loss to Ohio State won't hurt you as much, but losing to a lesser school will likely tank your chances with that recruit. Transfer portal. The portal will open.
No way. Oh, this is what I was waiting for.
Process. So it's a shortened process compared to high school recruiting. The portal section is a tab you can toggle to from the recruiting page using L1/R1. Service academies can use the portal unlike in real life, as can Clemson, which Dabo Swinney will surely not like. You will have to manage your off-season recruiting hours for both the portal and the remainder of your high school recruiting. Like in real life, players you were close to landing in high school recruiting will remember that when they enter the portal, and you're likely going to end up as one of their preferred destinations in the transfer portal. You can also encourage your own players to enter the portal to clear up your roster. They are also bringing back the off-season step of trying to persuade players not to go to the NFL or go into the transfer portal, with very low, moderate, high, very high chances of success in stopping a guy from leaving your school. Players will enter the portal based on a number of factors, most notably how you are holding up your end of the bargain with their deal breakers. For example, if you land a recruit based off of playing time and he doesn't play as a freshman, he's at risk to enter the portal. Throughout the year, it will let you know who is at risk for the portal, and it will be up to you whether you want to make adjustments to try to keep guys or continue the same plan and let a guy hit the portal. NIL.
Wait. That was a lot. I don't get emotional. What? This is so great. Like, oh my goodness gracious. This right here, I can already see it right now. It's going to be one of the most fun times ever. Even if you're not even a college football fan, I think this is going to get the casual players that didn't play Dynasty mode back then to get involved. Especially with the transfer portal. I know some people don't like it, some people do. You know, it depends who you are. But this right here is a good balance. I felt like I have seen a couple videos in the NCAA 14, and I do feel like it was a little bit too easy to where, say you start off with a low level team, right, that nobody knows, nobody really heard of, then you out of nowhere you get the #1 team in the country, and now you getting 4 and 5 star recruits off of that 1 year. Yeah, you know, that ain't how it work. Sorry, it's not. They gonna go to the Georgias, the Alabamas of the world, the LSU of the world, the Florida, you feel me? The Ohio States of the world, the Michigan. Even though you might be the #1 team that year, you know. So I absolutely love this, and NIL. Let's see.
Dynasty mode, and they have a pretty good reason for that. When developing the game, NIL was done by collectives and wasn't legally something schools control.
Okay.
Beyond that, given how quickly things changed with NIL, they didn't want to put something in the game that was outdated as quickly as it was built.
I respect this so much.
The NCAA settlement to allow schools to pay players came down a few hours after our presentation. So in the future, NIL will likely make its way in once that's something.
Hey, I love that right there.
This year, it will not.
I'm glad they did not put it in.
Also, I was told not to expect there to ever be a way to commit financial crimes or do grimy stuff in the game, as it's rated E game, and they're not changing that. Now that was confusing because I was under the NIL was a part of the game in some way. Maybe I misunderstood.
Oh, that's right. He did say something about NIL.
NIL is something that is very fluid right now. No one really knows how it's all going to work out. Rules are constantly changing. We don't know what regulations are.
It's very confusing.
So probably best not to touch it just yet. Player editing. One thing that was made clear is that you will be very limited with what you can do in terms of editing players compared to the old NCAA football franchise, but for good reason, because the players in this year's game are actually the guys that are on rosters. You won't be able to make considerable edits to them beyond team.
I completely agree with this.
Price to pay to have the game back with actual players in it. And here's.
I'm sorry for pausing. I know he was about to say something, but I know some people are not gonna like that, but I absolutely get it, and I was expecting it, to be honest with you. I wasn't really because you got like it just said, these are actual players. I don't think in any of the previous, I know for 14 there was, but I don't think if memory can serve me correctly, maybe I'm wrong, none of the other college football games had actual players. They was all generic players. So them putting the actual players in it and the customization kind of going away, like you can't do as much, completely agree with it. Standing behind it.
Here's the last big one here. No exporting draft classes. It says, I forgot to add this initially, but you will not be able to export draft classes to Madden. That is because the players in the game are actual college football players, and the license football and Madden are totally separate. The Madden deal is through the NFL.
Oh, so that's why you can't do that.
Football won't have signed there. This is one of the small prices to pay to have the game back with real players, and no, once you get 6 years deep into a dynasty, that doesn't change that yet, at least. So this is something that's a bummer, but it is just simply
Okay.
with there being
Yeah.
licensed.
I mean, it's
They're
understandable.
not licensed to be in the NFL. They're not under the NFL.
Yeah.
They're not
Okay.
in the NFL, so you can't legally transfer them.
I completely agree. Okay, I completely understand. It is a little bit of a bummer, but I understand.
Real numbers and stuff like that, but we would go in, edit the names, create these players. We were transferring our custom rosters technically over to Madden. These are real life rosters now, and they can't allow them to be transferred over to a game where they don't have the rights to use them. Now, maybe in the future, there's some legal hoops they can jump through.
Yeah, maybe, but I don't know. I don't see that.
Understandable why it's not there, because these are a total different set of rules and circumstances that they're forced to operate under, and they can't just let you.
I know a lot of people wanted the
Road to Glory. So something I've seen
to put their players into the draft.
being kind of a 10 to 20 hour story mode. That's really not the impression I got. I know I can't really speak too much onto my impressions, but I kind of feel like that's a little bit misunderstood. This definitely, from all the stuff I've read and stuff I've come to learn, I don't think this is anything like long.
How long was Road to Glory in 14?
Story mode's the wrong way to word this. I think maybe what they meant was there's like 10 to 20 hours worth of extra content to play through off.
Okay.
I think it's just kind of misunderstood the way some people wrote this, but I definitely
probably
classify this as a story mode.
Probably misinformation
from old college games. Though there are some differences, there are a couple notable things that aren't there, like you can't play in high school, which I do think is an L, but I think it's one of those things that I don't think it's going to be bad. I think the mode's going to have a lot of replayability based on the right.
I mean, did people really like playing in high school?
High school's probably one of those things that get added to the next game. I think you just get up to.
I think it was cool the first high school game, but then it's like, alright, I'm ready to go to college.
And stadiums and players and playbooks and adding gameplay features and building gameplay different.
It was cool, but
stuff for Dynasty. Like, you run up to a point where you're 3 years in, people want the game to drop. There might be a thing or two that's not going to be there, and it's a matter of, well, do you want to not have the game for another year so that they can add a couple more things, or do you want to have the game now and say, you know, there may be a thing
I want the game now.
You'll have to wait another year for. That's kind of where I'm at with it. I think Road to Glory not having high school is an L for this year. I think also the fact that you can only be a quarterback, running back, receiver, linebacker, and cornerback is a bit of an L. They would have added some more positions there, as that is something that was true to the old Road to Glories, but I do expect that to come eventually. It says here, no.
Yeah, that might come like in an update.
Picking your level as a recruit at the beginning to determine how hard your grind will be getting playing time. 5-star starts at about a 79 overall, 4-star at a 75 overall, 3-star.
Oh, we ain't know the overalls.
And 2-star at a 65 overall. If you choose to be a 2-star,
I mean, that's not bad.
Spend a lot of time in practice before you get onto the field. If you're a 5-star, you'll still have to win a position battle. More on that in a little bit to get a starting spot. From there, you will pick things that are most important to you among the 14 pitch grades each school has, and you will get offers based on your star level and which schools align with what you deem most important. Once you're in school, you will not have a dorm room like the old games, but instead, most of the mode will be done.
Wait, you had a dorm room in the old game?
Scenarios popping up on your phone throughout. You will manage your time each week and have to decide how to balance your schedule between 5 areas of focus: academics, leadership, health, training, and brand. How you choose to manage your time will determine everything from your eligibility to play. Yes, you can go academically ineligible, to whether you get to challenge.
Holy shit, you could go academic in.
It means neglecting another, which has consequences. On the other hand, it's not simply a matter of balancing everything out, because that too will mean leaving things on the table. The primary goal of the mode is to make you make decisions that are not clearly black and white. As they explain, the goal is gray areas with the various dynamic scenarios that will present themselves throughout the game. Even things that seem like a good choice may have negative consequences, and vice versa. By doing so, they hope to make the story element really matter rather than the cutscenes you are just clicking through to get to the game. Academics. When they announced you had to maintain a GPA, many people laughed at the idea that you'd be taking tests. That is happily not the case. Instead, you simply have to allocate some hours to studying, because there will be tests on your schedule, and if you are not prepared as indicated by the progress bar, you could fail and become academically ineligible. If that happens, time with tutors, which will further set you back elsewhere. All the elements come with potential boosts to your skill trees, and academics figure to boost your mental abilities on the field.
I remember hitting play.
This is going to be up for debate.
How do you write that?
It changed everything. Come on.
Leadership and position battles.
Hold on, I just want to pause it right quick about the academics thing. You know what will be like, would be funny if like the YouTubers that, or like the content creators that like get probably the early access or a couple days earlier, they will have to take tests, and the chat can't help them. You're gonna see who's really smart, who is really paying attention in school, and who was not. Me personally, I wasn't the best in school, and I'm also was not good at test taking. So for me, yeah, might be bad, but I think that would be cool. That'd be funny, just to see like, and everybody has a different test, so you can't be like, ooh, let me see what this YouTuber did. This, I think that would be cool. But I absolutely love so far what they're doing. It's more about you almost living an actual college athlete's life. You know what I mean? And these are decisions that they make on the daily that now you have to make in the game. So, hey, and for the younger people that are not in college yet, this is a great like learning thing, especially if you're about to get on the full scholarship, or this is a great way to see like what it really is before you get into the real world and see it for yourself. So I
Leadership
love
is
it.
where you bank coaching trust points with how you get on the field. Allocating time here means getting in the film room and doing the necessary football work that's not on field drills to show your coach and teammates that you're committed. When you get enough coach trust and catch a teammate ahead of you on the depth chart, you'll trigger a position battle. The position battles bring back the glorious return of mini games, and you will have to
Oh, they got mini games in it.
teammate in the mini game in order to earn a spot. A key element of this, your computer teammates are also always earning coaching trust, and if you start to struggle as a starter,
Okay, I like that.
you and force you into a position battle.
Ooh, oh, that's gonna be
Only
good.
beginning as you have to perform to keep it. Health. This is where the wear and tear system comes into play. Throughout the season, you
That's right. He talked about this.
on different body parts by taking hits, and when you get too much in one spot, you'll start to lose attribute points for certain skills that are tied to those areas. You'll need to put some hours into recovery in order to stay healthy throughout the season, or else you'll risk getting hurt and missing time. Training. Training is practices and on-field work where you gain XP and you can boost your rate of skill trees. The more time you spend here, the faster you'll see that
I'm gonna start doing more of that, like in the
come at
games.
the expense of something else, and having a great overall won't help if you aren't able to be on the field for academic reasons, injuries, or lack of coaching. The
Oh,
final piece is the NIL portion of Road to Glory, where you can sign brand deals.
but they got the brand deals.
Now, this might seem like the least important thing and the easy section to put off. However, each brand deal will come with in-game boosts that will help you out. And
You know what this kind of reminds me of? How 2K does the brand
in the
thing.
game for Road to Glory, I guess more so than it will be in Dynasty. Not in some of the ways maybe we thought it would be, but it's definitely going to be there in terms of signing brand deals and things.
I think NIL is a little. Yeah, I understand why it's in this.
Various options, and you'll have to pick what to do with consequences that could be both positive and negative at the same time. For example, you might be asked to do something with teammates instead of study, and that might earn some coaching trust in the leadership category. But if it means you are underprepared for an upcoming test, your GPA might drop.
Ooh, are you gonna go to that party? Or you gonna study for that test?
Some choices that aren't obvious with how you're balancing the 5 main areas, always needing to be on top of your mind. Game day. All the things you do during the week will impact you on the field on game day as well. Your mental and physical abilities will determine some in-game boosts, as will the aforementioned brand deals. Your coaching trust will determine play calling options, and for QBs, whether you can hot route or audible. Your health will also impact play calling. A banged up QB won't get the options called, and if you have piled up wear and tear and not done what's needed to get it down during the week, you'll be at risk of injury and have diminished. In real
Damn.
life, you can register.
Oh shit, they got red
red
shirt.
The game will automatically do that for you, meaning if you simply can't win the position battle to get on the field or get hurt year 1, you'll get that 5th year. You cannot demand a red shirt.
Okay, I like that. I like it's automatic.
Tank practices and games to try to drop out of position battle to do transfer.
How many people going tank?
Will be available
Be
to
honest.
you every offseason like in real life, and will work like recruiting did in the beginning when you picked your first team. You'll get offers from teams that fit your preferences. I really enjoyed the one example they showed that was a guy that really cares about academics, so his top school was Vandy. The coaching carousel will also be happening in the offseason, so your coach might leave, which impacts coach trust with a new guy coming in, and you might choose to coach to his new school. Exporting to Madden. Something that will be exciting for fans that get both college football and Madden is that you will be able to export your road.
Holy shit.
In Madden. That means you have the opportunity to go from recruit to NFL legend across 2 games and could spend 20 years with your Road to Glory player instead of
Clap it up. Clap it up, guys. This right here. This right here. This is what I'm talking about. Everybody that said, oh, EA, they not gonna do this, they not gonna do that, it's just gonna be a reskin, shut the fuck up and listen. I'm gonna read this to you guys. For all the guys, for everybody out there that's still hating, I'm gonna read this for you. Exporting to Madden, motherfucker. Something that will be exciting to fans that get both college football and Madden is that you will be able to export your Road to Glory player to Superstar mode in Madden. Burr. Oh yeah, oh yeah, Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Oh my goodness, guys.
Of just 4. So unlike the draft classes for Dynasty, there's no restrictions here because this is your own created player, so you will be able to bring him to Madden. Like I said, I do think there's going to be a lot of replayability to this mode with all the off-field
100%
player and how the gameplay affects things this year and how you have to monitor your players' wear and tear and stuff like that. I do think it is a bit of a L that we don't have high school or some of the other positions unlocked, but I really do not think...
I don't really care about that, to be honest with you. As long as they got the imported player...
Here's some of my personal hands...
I mean, I know the high school thing is probably a bummer for a lot of people. Well, for some people, not a lot. But to be honest with you, the thing I kind of wanted to see if it was going to happen was the import the player to Madden. That's why Madden got rid of... went back to the Superstar mode. So they can have it lined up. Everything makes sense, ladies and gentlemen. This was a lot, okay? It was so much, I'm just like, what? The academics thing is another thing that stands out to me. You actually have to pay attention. You can't just be pressing, all right, skip this. No, because you keep on skipping, you're gonna fail. Just like in real life. You gotta study, you gotta pay attention, you gotta focus. And I absolutely love this. But like I said, it's gonna show... To be honest with you, it's going to show a lot of people that you have to focus in video games. Because I feel like nowadays, people don't like to focus. People don't like to sit down and just focus. Okay, they want to go this one. So I absolutely love it, man. I cannot wait for EA, well, not, yeah, EA to drop their trailer and show off, you know, even more stuff, more screenshots, more, you know, just all that. That's gonna do it for me, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this reaction. Love you guys. I'll see you guys in the next one.